At the break of dawn, the world seems to breathe differently. There is a silence in the air that is not empty, but filled with potential. The sky is painted with subtle shades of gold and crimson, and the earth awakens with a rhythm older than human memory. For yogis, this is not just the beginning of a day. It is a sacred moment when the universe itself whispers in vibrations. At sunrise, the veil between night and day is at its thinnest, and the energy fields of nature align with the inner fields of the human body. It is here, at this exact threshold, that chanting becomes more than sound. It becomes a key to enter into harmony with the pulse of creation itself. Modern science has begun to glimpse what yogis have known for centuries. The frequencies of dawn, measured in the subtle shifts of electromagnetic fields and atmospheric ionization, create an environment where the human nervous system becomes especially sensitive. Brainwave activity during the early morning naturally moves toward alpha and theta states, the very rhythms associated with meditation and receptivity. When a mantra is chanted in this delicate window, its vibration does not merely echo in the throat and chest. It resonates through the neural pathways, the endocrine system, and even the cellular structures that respond to sound and rhythm. Thus, chanting at sunrise is not a ritual of faith alone. It is a precise synchronization of body, mind, and environment. The yogis describe this moment as the meeting of prana and the rising sun. Prana, the vital life force, flows most abundantly at dawn. The breath feels lighter, the mind less burdened, the senses more open. When the sacred sound, Om, or any morning mantra, is released into the air, it catches this current of prana and rides it like a wave. The body becomes an instrument, and the mantra its vibration. In this way, the yogi does not merely chant. He attunes himself to the universe's own frequency, making his consciousness an echo of cosmic law. Before we journey deeper into this mystery, pause for a moment. If these words awaken something within you, write in the comments, "I rise with the sound of the universe." Let this be your affirmation. And if you feel the resonance of this truth, subscribe and like this video, so that this vibration may reach more souls seeking light. When we explore the science of sound, we find that vibration is the essence of existence. From the string theories of physics to the measured oscillations of atoms, everything is in motion. Everything is sound. Chanting at sunrise, therefore, is not about creating something artificial. It is about tuning oneself to what already is. The early morning frequencies of the earth, often referred to as the Schumann resonance, hover at around 7.8 Hz, a frequency that aligns with calm brainwave activity. When a mantra is repeated slowly and rhythmically, it entrains the mind and body to this natural frequency. The result is coherence, a state where heart rhythms, breath, and brain activity all fall into harmony. This is not poetry, but physiology, a measurable effect of sound on the human system. The ancients wrapped this knowledge in myth, not because it was untrue, but because truth is often better remembered in story. They said the gods themselves chanted at sunrise, pouring their voices into the world so that creation would continue to unfold. The myth speaks of Surya, the sun god, rising from the cosmic ocean, greeted with hymns that ensured his journey across the sky. In the language of science, this myth is not mere fantasy. It encodes the recognition that the rising sun carries with it specific frequencies of light and energy, frequencies that influence the biochemistry of every living being on Earth. When yogis chant at sunrise, they participate in this cosmic cycle, both mythic and measurable. The sound Om, often chosen for morning chanting, is a perfect case study in both mysticism and science. Phonetically, it contains 3 vibrations, A, U, and M. Each vibrates through different parts of the body. The open A, resonating in the chest, the rounded U vibrating in the throat, and the humming M activating the skull and brain. Scientifically, these vibrations stimulate the vagus nerve, modulate the parasympathetic nervous system, and calm stress responses. Esoterically, these same sounds are said to awaken the 3 states of consciousness: waking, dreaming, and deep sleep, uniting them in a 4th transcendent state, Turiya. Thus, chanting Om at sunrise unites the physical and the metaphysical, merging science and spirit in one sacred act. But why specifically sunrise? The answer lies in the intersection of light, sound, and biology. At dawn, melatonin, the hormone of sleep, is still present in the bloodstream. Cortisol, the hormone of wakefulness, begins to rise. This transition creates a rare biochemical openness, a liminal zone where the mind is not fully awake, yet no longer asleep. Chanting during this threshold anchors the transition, ensuring that wakefulness arises not in chaos, but in coherence. Yogis call this state Brahma Muhurta, the hour of Brahma, the time of creation. In modern terms, it is the period when the circadian rhythm is most responsive, when the body is ready to reset its inner clocks through sound and intention. Chanting also shapes the breath, and breath shapes the mind. The lengthened exhalations during mantra repetition activate the parasympathetic system, slowing heart rate and lowering blood pressure. At sunrise, when the environment is calm and quiet, this physiological effect becomes amplified. The breath syncs not only with the body, but with the rhythm of the natural world. The rising birds, the shifting air, the warmth of the sun spreading across the horizon. This resonance creates what both yogic texts and scientific studies describe as coherence fields, invisible waves of harmony that spread outward from the individual to the environment itself. The yogis who practiced this knew that sound was not just for the ear, it was for the subtle body. The chakras, or energy centers, are responsive to vibration. The lower chakras resonate with deeper tones, the upper chakras with higher frequencies. When a mantra is chanted at sunrise, the entire spectrum of energy centers awakens, aligning the body with the day ahead. Scientifically, this could be described as entraining the nervous system from the base of the spine to the crown of the head, activating neural pathways and energy flows simultaneously. The esoteric and the measurable meet in the same act, proving that chanting is not superstition but subtle technology. As the sun rises higher, the potency of this practice gradually diminishes. Once the day's noise begins, once the electromagnetic fields shift with human activity, the window of resonance narrows. This is why yogis, monks, and seekers across ages have insisted on greeting the sun with chant. They knew that the morning hour was not just convenient. It was sacred physics, an alignment of cosmic and biological rhythms too precise to ignore. And so, when we chant at sunrise, we are not simply repeating sounds. We are entering into a dialogue with the universe itself. We are harmonizing with the primal vibration that holds galaxies in orbit and atoms in motion. This is why the yogis chose sunrise, and why modern science is beginning to confirm its wisdom. It is within this harmony, this sacred resonance between breath, sound, and light, that the secret of morning vibrations continues to reveal itself. The act of chanting at sunrise also carries a collective dimension, for sound is never isolated. Every vibration travels outward, rippling into the environment, interweaving with other waves of energy. When multiple practitioners chant together at dawn, the resonance magnifies, creating what ancient texts called a mandala of sound. Modern science describes this in terms of wave interference and resonance amplification, where vibrations align and grow stronger in unison. This is why group chanting has such a profound effect, not only on the participants, but on the atmosphere itself. Fields of coherence are established, shaping both inner consciousness and outer space. The yogis knew that harmony is contagious, and sunrise chanting is one of the purest ways to spread it. There is also an alchemical quality in morning chanting. Just as light transforms darkness into day, sound transforms silence into song. The silence of dawn is unlike any other. It is not absence but potential, a vast field waiting to be awakened. When the first sounds of mantra pierce this silence, they carry extraordinary potency. They do not compete with noise. They arise in stillness, making the entire environment their resonating chamber. The yogi, the earth, and the sky become instruments of a single symphony. In this way, chanting at sunrise is a form of co-creation, a daily renewal of the bond between human beings and the cosmos. Neuroscience has shown that rituals performed at consistent times create long-term changes in the brain. Neuroplasticity, the ability of the brain to rewire itself, responds strongly to repetitive practices associated with stable environmental cues, such as the rising sun. chanting each morning lays down pathways of calm, resilience, and clarity. Over time, these pathways become highways, shaping the personality itself. Yogis described this as samskaras being transformed, impressions of the past rewritten by the power of sacred sound. In modern terms, it is the reprogramming of neural networks through rhythm and resonance. Sunrise chanting is therefore both a spiritual act and a neurological training. The mythic dimension adds yet another layer. Stories of sages and gods chanting at sunrise are not mere allegories. They are transmissions of timeless wisdom. In one tale, it is said that when the first dawn rose over creation, the primordial beings chanted in unison, weaving the universe into order. Each sunrise since then is a reminder of that original act of harmony. When a yogi chants at dawn, he is not only awakening his own spirit, he is participating in the eternal recreation of the cosmos. Myth and science converge here, for both recognize the power of repetition, rhythm, and renewal. Before we move further, remember to anchor yourself in this truth. Write in the comments, "I rise with the sound of the universe." Let this affirmation not only be words, but a vibration you send into the world. And if this vision resonates with you, subscribe and like this video, for each act of sharing is itself a form of chanting, amplifying the sacred sound to reach others. Consider also the physiological resonance of specific mantras at dawn. The Gayatri mantra, for example, is traditionally recited as the sun rises. Its syllables are designed to vibrate through the subtle body, activating the intellect and opening the heart. The rhythm of its 24 syllables corresponds to the 24 vertebrae of the human spine, suggesting that its repetition literally aligns the axis of the body with the axis of the universe. Modern researchers have found that chanting the Gayatri mantra can slow respiration, balance heart rhythms, and increase alpha brainwave activity. What yogis intuited through experience, science is beginning to verify through measurement. The same applies to Om. When chanted at sunrise, its resonance is amplified by the quietude of the hour. Studies have shown that chanting Om reduces activity in the amygdala, the brain's center for fear and stress. This effect is more pronounced when the practice is done in the early morning, when the nervous system is naturally more sensitive. The yogis knew this intuitively. They spoke of Om at dawn as the sound that clears the pathways of the mind, dissolving fear and illusion before the day unfolds. The merging of scientific evidence and spiritual insight creates a bridge between worlds, showing that chanting is both a mystical art and a biological science. Sunrise also amplifies the psychological symbolism of chanting. To face the rising sun while chanting is to face renewal, possibility, and hope. It is to align oneself with light rather than darkness, to step into a day not as a passive participant, but as a conscious co-creator. This ritual trains the mind to awaken with purpose rather than inertia. Over years, such practice changes the orientation of one's being, from reactive to creative, from scattered to centered. Yogis called this tapas, the inner fire kindled by discipline, a fire that transforms not only the practitioner, but the life he touches. The science of circadian rhythms further illuminates why this practice is so potent. At dawn, the body's internal clocks synchronize with external light. Cells across every organ reset their rhythms, guided by the pineal gland and the suprachiasmatic nucleus of the brain. Chanting at this moment acts like a tuning fork, ensuring that the body's countless rhythms align in harmony. This synchronization extends to mood, immunity, and cognition. In simple terms, chanting at sunrise helps the body and mind function at their highest potential. Yet beyond all science, there remains the mystery, the inexplicable sense of belonging that dawn chanting creates. Those who have practiced it know the feeling, a deep stillness, a subtle joy, a sense that the universe is listening and responding. Science may one day explain every mechanism, but the experience itself will always be more than explanation. It is the union of human voice with cosmic vibration, the offering of self into something larger, the daily reminder that we are not separate, but part of a living whole. It is in this mystery where sound meets silence and light meets darkness that the secret of morning vibrations truly resides.